Hey, what's up, everyone? My name is Trent. This is Rams Talk. Thank you for tuning in to another edition. Dodgers make it to the World Series. Yes, Dodgers go on and... What's that? Yeah, no, the Rams played? What? Who'd they play? 49ers. Oh, yeah, and they lost. Well, why would I want to do a Rams Talk about that? Can't we just talk about the Dodgers? Okay, fine, I guess. Well, I mean, I don't have anything. So this is just, I guess, going to be off the top of my head. Sorry. You know, I woke up, saw the Dodgers won. Nah, I'm just kidding. I saw the Rams lost 16-24. I was like, what is this? Touchdown, 3 field goals? Terrible. Absolutely terrible. Not the way you want to wake up, especially with the 49ers. But anyways, thank you for tuning in. For all the new subscribers who've just hit this little guy, thank you so much for joining. For all the old subscribers, the legacy subscribers, the in-between subscribers. If you're watching this for the first time, subscribe. Right there, free. Turn your notifications on. Get some Rams talk coming at you every week, multiple times a week. So, this one was disheartening. I know we're all pissed off, to say the least, because we thought the Rams would do better, and losing to the 49ers is kind of like the worst thing ever. So, you can also find me on Instagram, LA Rams Talk, Twitter at Real LA Rams Talk, and on the Flick app. There's a Rams group there, so you can find me there. And also, I'm on Fan to Fan Network. I will be collaborating this week with the Bears guy, Fies Sports, so I'll let you know more about that. So anyways, let's just dive into this thing and then digest it and poop it out and get on to the next week. So 3 main thoughts I have about this game. Number 1, because there are no fans in the stadium, because you can hear everything, it seemed like, especially when 49ers were on defense, every time they made a stop against the Rams, they were howling like jackals. It just seemed like they were more pumped up in this game. And it showed. They came out of the starting blocks and they took it to the Rams. At least in the first half, they came out and wanted it more than the Rams did. Now, this leads me to my second thought, which were the Rams did not execute. They left a lot of plays on the field, right? So this was not a typical Rams performance. Usually they're much more sharp and everything. But, you also, what McVay says is that every play has a plan. Every play leads to the next play, and to the next play, and to the next play, and to the next play. And so if a play doesn't work or a series doesn't work, I kind of feel like he's incapable in a way of going off script or adjusting in real time and getting off the script. So, but at the end of the day, they didn't execute. Missed a lot of throws, a lot of defensive assignments, especially in the first half. And they cleaned it up in the second half. I mean, another one of those vintage second half defense performance. But it also begs the question when. And I'll get into this, but when Jimmy Garoppolo is similar to Goff and their offense is similar to the Rams offense in terms of how much they rely on the yards after the catch. And Garoppolo is never airing it out. Never bombing it out. Everything was by the line of scrimmage, and they're playing soft zone. Oh, and then, it took 2 quarters to figure that out, and then they tightened it up for sure. But didn't execute on both sides of the ball. And the other thing, which is probably the thing that I've been harping on every game this season, whenever the Rams win, they do it well. When they lose, they don't. Actually, when they lost to the Bills, they actually did it really well too. But it's balance on offense. They came out of the chute passing. It looked like last year's Rams where there was no rush. 38 pass attempts compared to 19 rush attempts. And the game was close. It wasn't like they were down, by 30 points. They were always, like, when they were down to the Bills, down against the Bills, they were rushing it. You remember that was the cool thing, like, Darrell Henderson's just running the ball down the Bills' throat in the second half, and they were down 28-3. So, the balance was way off. To me, they didn't go off script. He didn't adjust. Darrell Henderson 14 rushes for 88 yards, 6.3 rush per carry. Listen to this. So I went back and I was very curious about this. So where did Darrell Henderson go? Where did Hendo go? He had, so the first touchdown drive that they had when Robert Woods caught that ball in the end zone, like amazing catch, by the way. He had 4 touches on that touchdown drive. So that was a touchdown drive. It was successful because Darrell Henderson was fed the ball. The Rams ran the ball. And the last touch he had was with 9 minutes and 49 seconds to go in the first half, right? The next time Darrell Henderson touched the ball was with 7 minutes and 12 seconds to go in the third quarter. There were 17 minutes where Darrell Henderson did not touch the ball. 17 minutes of game time where he did not get a touch. How does that happen? How does that happen? How does Darrell Henderson have 14 carries with a 6.3 yard per carry? To me, this is the sin of the game. Listen, Goff isn't going to hit every receiver. Every receiver is not going to catch every pass. Not every tackle is going to be made. Like, there are little things in there that, yes, should be done, should be made, but the play calling, it just completely baffles me. And I don't even care that Cam Akers wasn't really used in this game because Darrell Henderson was doing such a good job. And like, I look at this and I look at the lack of rush attempts and I SMH. I'm shaking my head. So that's why they punted so often. That's why they couldn't get drives together. That's why they didn't have the time of possession was out of control. And so the Rams had 10 possessions. Now this was a much closer game because it was really a game of 2 halves. But at the end of the game, the Niners had 1 more possession than the Rams did. They had like 0.0 or 0.1 or 0.01 like more yards per play average. The Rams only lost by a touchdown and a 2-point conversion, so it wasn't like it was just a crazy blowout. Time of possession was really just skewed everything. Is because the Rams weren't running the ball. In their 10 possessions that they had 6 punts, 1 interception, a field goal, and 2 touchdowns. And this is how it went: punt, punt, touchdown, punt, field goal, punt, interception, punt, punt, touchdown. So many punts. Like, hey, I love seeing Johnny Hekker. It's good to get Johnny Hekker out there, but not so many times. This also goes like what I touched on before, the soft zone. The 49ers are not an explosive offense with deep passes. It's yards after the catch. And Shanahan played McVay like a freaking cello, right? All these passes along the line of scrimmage. In fact, Jimmy Garoppolo in the first half, this blew my mind. Thank you to Jordan Rodrigo of The Athletic. Jimmy G in the first half, only 2 completions past the line of scrimmage, and they were up 21-6. So that whole time in the first half, they're playing a soft zone, and every time he throw the ball behind the line of scrimmage, get some sort of wide receiver screen going or whatever. You're looking at the Rams defenders, and they're playing deep, and they're all having to run in. They have such a bubble around those guys, and you're just like, and this is happening play after play after play, and you're like, why is everyone playing so far back? I get the bend but don't break, but like you gotta address the bend. My goodness, it's just ridiculous. Like George Kittle, 33 of George Kittle's 44 yards were after that catch. And this is what I meant by Shanahan playing McVay like a cello. So this whole game is soft zone. And so the Rams are letting them chip and chip and chip and chip and chip. And then he finally gets the look he wants in a cover 0. That means no safety, no one deep back there. And guess what he does? It's a one-on-one matchup. Kittle breaks the tackle. There's no one there. So basically draws him in, 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 sees the thing, boom, touchdown. Like, it's say what you will about Kyle Shanahan, the offensive play calling, whatever, but he did a great job and he knew what he was doing. But at the same time, second half, Kyle Shanahan rolled around and Rams couldn't make up for it. So, as I'm watching this game, and I went back and I was jotting down notes. So Leonard Floyd, everyone says Leonard Floyd had a good game, and he had a good play in the backfield where he tripped up the player. But on the first touchdown, Deebo Samuel end around, I think it was George Kittle who blocked Leonard Floyd. Leonard Floyd could not seal the edge, could not come off the block, could not do his job, and Deebo got around and got in. So that was on Leonard Floyd. Then the next position, Goff overthrows Kupp on that crossing route and just sailed it. I mean, Goff really looked about as sharp as a marble in this game, and his connection with Kupp just didn't seem like his head was in it. Granted, that wasn't his fault. So then after that punt, the 49ers, then they lulled the Rams to sleep, and Kittle gets that, and that was a 4th down. So not only did the Rams not stop him on 4th down, but it gave up a touchdown. It's these things that aren't just okay, it was 4th and 2 and they got 3 yards. It was 4th and 2 and scored a 44-yard touchdown or whatever. You know what I mean? It was just those kinds of things that you just can't do. That talk about bend but don't break. That was a break. Where was the bend on that? You're doing bend on the stuff that doesn't matter, and you're not doing it on the break. Come on. Right? And so then the 49ers drive after Sloman misses the extra point. I'm going to get to Sloman in a second. There was a 3rd and 7, and there was no pressure on Jimmy G. This is one of those Jimmy G just drop back, just sitting there, surveying the field, no pressure coming, and he hits Trent Taylor for a 1st down conversion with 2 guys on him, and it's one where he catches it, and he kind of turns around the other way, and both Rams guys put on the brakes and fall down, and he barely gets the 1st down. And it was just stuff like that. No pressure, 3rd down conversion, 2 guys in coverage, 1st down. I'm going to talk about those 2 guys in coverage in just a second as well. So it was those kinds of things. Then it was a 3rd and goal touchdown to Ayuk. So it was 4th down conversion. It were these constant 3rd and 4th down conversions that led to touchdowns, and the Rams couldn't do anything. And the first drive of the 3rd quarter, Whitworth has a false start on 3rd and inches, and they settle for a field goal. It was 3rd and inches, Whitworth false start, settle for a field goal. So, it was just these common mistakes. And then Kupp stops running on the deep ball. Kupp drops the touchdown. And then also I wake up and everyone on Twitter is losing their mind about Samuel Sloman. Get rid of him, cut Sloman, blah, blah, blah. And it's whoa. Listen, I'm not sitting here saying Sloman is the guy. But Sloman is not the reason why we lost this game. Granted, the final score would have been so much prettier with a nice, 24-17 instead of 24-16. But you know what? Plays like I just listed, those lost the game. The bad tackling, the terrible linebacker play, no pass rush. Jimmy G was getting the ball out very quick, probably quicker than he has all season, and that's why the pass rush wasn't as effective on some plays. But other plays, when he's just sat there with tons of time. The Rams only gave him 6 pressures. But the play to me, or the sequence to me that really, I guess, is why the Rams lost this game, was when it was 2nd and 2 on the 1 yard line. And then they hand it off to Darrell Henderson, and he goes around to the right and gets knocked out right at the goal. Then it's 3rd and 2. And then they go for the pass to Kupp, and he drops it. Then it's 4th and 2, and Goff throws an interception. You had the ball, 2nd and goal on the 1 yard line, and not only did you not get 3 points, you turned it over. That can't happen. That cannot happen. And 9 times out of 10, Kupp makes that catch. But at the same time, why aren't you running the ball? That drive was the Darrell Henderson show down the field. That was the one where he was just breaking off chunk yards after chunk gain after chunk gain. And then they get down to the goal line, and then we revert back to the passing, which is generally fine. But come on. It was just this kind of stuff. And that was the backbreaker. To me, if they score a touchdown there, then, the final score could be 24-20, 22, 24-24 to tie it up. It's just, it wasn't the Sloman missed field goal. That, or extra point, that is annoying. Now, going back to Sloman real quick. So I remember, and I did, I think it was my draft recap, or like things about the season coming up, what are we going to do with Greg the Leg. But when I was looking at kickers that the Rams could get in the draft, Sam Sloman was nowhere on my radar. And the one guy that is a guy named Rodrigo Blankenship, who was at Georgia, who won the award for best kicker in college football, and he was undrafted by the Colts, and he has the most points of any kicker in football this year. And he has not missed an extra point. He's missed 2 field goals, I think. Right? And the Rams could have had him, but they picked Sloman. I don't know why. If it gives you any solace, you know the kicker for the Kansas City Chiefs, Harrison Butker, who's actually pretty good. He's 15 of 19 for extra points, and Sloman is 15 of 18 for extra points. So there is at least someone out there worse at extra points than Sloman. But if you just can't make extra points regularly, like I understand over the course of the season, maybe you miss 2, right? But 3 in 6 games, that's half the games you're missing extra. So that pretty much means that he'll miss 5 more extra points this season. You can't do that. You can't. So I understand. I think we should have some competition for Sloman, but we didn't lose the game because of him. Unless he missed 9 extra points that I don't know about, because that was the difference in this game. So yeah, going back to things that I thought were good. Higbee and Everett, I thought, did a really good job as the tight ends. Higbee led the team in receiving yards. J-Ray. So J-Ray, when he came out of college, and they were showing his highlights out of Texas A&M or Texas Tech, I can't remember, one of them, and he was running down the sideline, jumping up 50-50 balls, deep balls, and he was coming down with them. And now he just seems like the one thing I wish the Rams actually did was, even if a guy wasn't completely wide open, after creating separation, even if the DB was somewhat close to him and you throw it up and you let him just go for it, or do a back shoulder or something where you at least give the receiver a chance to make a play. I don't really see the Rams doing it, and they did it on that bomb to Jefferson or to Reynolds. And I'm like, where the hell has that been the last 3 years with at least Reynolds? I mean, Reynolds had that deep pass against the Bears last year, but it's okay to try that. Give him a chance. He never drops a pass, really. So I really like that. I thought Woods catching the end zone was awesome. I was thinking, oh God, here they go, they're gonna blow this one. Cooper Kupp, 3 of 11. That was just a weird game from Kupp, so I'm not too worried. Whitworth had a weird game with penalties, so that was kind of weird. I don't expect that to be an issue so much. The O-line actually played pretty well. The only guy that really kind of slipped a little bit was David Edwards. His PFF ranking slipped a little bit as a guard, but Whitworth did. Other than that, Whitworth had a great game. Other than the penalties, he didn't really allow a pressure or anything, or maybe he allowed one, but he was really solid. Havenstein did well. I mean, they all did really well, to be honest with you. Goff wasn't really under too much duress the whole game. The thing I didn't really like, now we're talking about the defense, is the linebacker play. And something needs to give here, because I keep going back to that Minnesota game where the Rams won 2 years ago, and the Rams picked on Anthony Barr because he was not good in coverage. And they torched him at least for 2 touchdowns. They picked a player, they attacked that player's weakness, and it benefited them. That's what the Niners did with our linebackers. Our linebackers were the Anthony Barrs in this game. Kenny Young and Micah Kiser. Micah Kiser had a better game than Kenny Young, but just a game that Kenny Young wants to forget. So Micah Kiser was targeted 8 times. He gave up 5 receptions, 3 for first downs, and for a total of 49 yards. Get ready for this. Kenny Young was targeted 7 times, gave up all 7 receptions, all of them for first downs. And one of them was a touchdown, and it was combined 86 total yards. Between our 2 inside linebackers, they were targeted 15 times, gave up 12 receptions for 136 yards and 10 first downs. 10 first downs. Now, I like Cam Akers. I still like having Cam Akers on this team, but do you think maybe we could have tried to get or gotten a linebacker with the 52nd pick? I'm just throwing it out there. We're going to need Sosa from Locked On Rams mentioned we need to get an edge rusher, maybe finding a free agent. I mean, I don't know if we need to get an edge rusher more than a linebacker. I just don't know, because that is appalling. Those numbers are appalling. That is not that. I mean, that's on defense. That's and the pass rush, 6 total pressures, 3 by AD, 2 by Sebastian Joseph Day, and 1 by Troy Hill. We didn't get a single pressure from any edge rusher, not from Michael Brockers, not from Morgan Fox, not from Justin Hollins, who had 35 snaps, compared to Ebekom's 21 snaps, compared to Plight and Terrell Lewis's 9 snaps each. None of those guys got even a pressure. Like I said, a lot of that was Jimmy G getting the ball out quickly, because I knew it's just like what Carson Wentz, first week of the season, gets destroyed by the D-line of Washington, holding onto the ball too long, goes against the Rams, gets it out quickly. And that's what the 49ers are great at, just getting the ball out quickly, passing it behind, not having these long developing plays. So, but no pressures. Zero pressures from our edge rushers, and you got to have a couple, right? Then when it comes to the secondary was pretty awesome, except for the Darius Williams missed tackle on Kittle, but he didn't have any help. So, at least if John Johnson was right there to stop Kittle from scoring a touchdown, that would have been nice. But Troy Hill, so the 49ers didn't run a lot of 3 receiver sets. So Troy Hill actually was playing on the outside, and Darius Williams didn't get as many reps. Troy Hill played 72 snaps, I think, out of a possible 73. And Darius Williams played 44 snaps. So he almost outsnapped him by 30 snaps, Troy Hill did. Now, Troy Hill he had 5 targets, 2 receptions for 12 yards, and 1 first down, and he played outside and did pretty well. Actually, this was a good Troy Hill game. And Jalen Ramsey, 2 targets, 1 reception for 5 yards. So Jalen Ramsey is just shutting it down. So, I mean, this wasn't a game where the secondary failed the Rams. The linebackers and the pass rush in the first half really failed the Rams, and I think that was just the Rams' inability, whether it was Brandon Staley or McVay, to just understand what the 49ers are doing and make an adjustment at the end of the first quarter. You could have made an adjustment or on the second drive or the third drive. Play the guys up a little bit more and don't go cover 0. My goodness. I mean, the 49ers came out and they played well, their backs were against the wall. And even though teams that don't have star players on it, doesn't mean that they have bad players. Like Jason Verrett's a solid player if he's healthy. Emmanuel Mosley, not a household name, but he's still a very solid cornerback. Fred Warner, awesome player, middle linebacker there. So, you got to give some credit to their players on what they did. But I feel like if the Rams had just not overthrown or connected on a deep ball, or Kupp catches a touchdown, or there's not a false start, you know what I mean? The game could have been completely different. So I feel confident that this is something the Rams can correct. But the Rams need to prove that they can beat good teams, right? They need to beat teams outside the NFC East. If they lose to the Bears, then we're having an issue. I'm not saying, and it's not because the Bears are a bad team, but the Rams need to prove that they can beat good teams. And the Bears, before the season started, the Bears and the Dolphins coming up were 2 teams that I felt could be potential losses, although I felt the Rams could win those games. I had the Rams losing to the Niners in this week in my initial prediction, but that's before all the injuries. Then I changed it last week. So anyways, Yes, so that's it. Gonna wrap it up. I want to, like I said, get rid of this game, forget about this game, look forward, look for a nice rebound from all of our guys. Like I said, gonna have a collab with Bears guy coming up. Not gonna do a live stream because it's Monday Night Football. It's not my time in Germany, but yeah. Anyways, if you've made it to the end, congratulations. Subscribe, watch another video, find me on Instagram, find me on Twitter, find me on TikTok, Fan to Fan, and the Flick Chat app. And don't be too discouraged, guys. We still got regular life happening, and I really appreciate you watching. So Sloman, you can go ahead and cue, no, not Sloman, sorry, not Sloman. Hecker, you can go ahead and cue the music. And as always, go Rams. Notes.